Everything.
Stand back. These are winter boots.
Wait! Why does his life have any less value than yours?
This fall.
I gotta say thing. You like jazz?
You're talking to humans. You're flying outside the hive.
Don't drink it?
Is a bee
He's not bothering anybody. Get out of here, you creep!
discovering a big secret.
How did this get here?
It's just honey, Barry.
This is stealing.
He's brave.
Where'd you get the honey?
It's ours now!
You'll see how by taking our honey, you're not only taking away everything we have, but everything we are.
Bears kill bees!
The court finds in favor of the bees.
Vanessa, we won! Now we won't have to work so hard all the time.
Lee Seinfeld, Renee Zellweger. DreamWorks Bee.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say.
Bee Movie is a comedy that will change everything you think you know about bees. Barry B. Benson is a bee who just graduated from Bee College, is horrified to learn that he must pick his lifelong job as a worker bee and will never get a day off. But then he gets the chance to leave the hive and ends up flying into the apartment of sweet nature florist Vanessa Bloom, who saves him from being smushed by her cookie boyfriend. Barry soon develops a relationship with Vanessa, which started with the now infamous quote, "Yeah, like jazz," which broke one of the laws of beedom, never talk to humans. While living in the big city of New York, getting a crash course on humans, Barry discovers humans have been stealing and eating the honey that the bees made, and subsequently decides to file a class action lawsuit against humans for stealing their honey. In this case, Barry goes up against Layton T. Montgomery, a lawyer protecting the companies. After verifying that, yes, he is a talking bee, Barry sends a bear into the room to frighten Layton and to serve as evidence. A fight then breaks out, which results in Montgomery being stuck in a wheelchair thing. On the second day of the trial, Layton asks why they aren't getting anywhere with the case, and soon after he pulls out a farming tool used for getting honey, which harms the bees, the case ends and the bees win. So Barry succeeds and demands the shutdown of all 5 of the major honey producers that have been using the bees as workers unfairly. The only problem is that the bees stop pollinating flowers, so all the plant life dies and the world turns barren. So Barry, with the help of all of the other bees, realized their species made a mistake and carry out a massive operation to pollinate the world. It succeeds and the credits roll.
Next is the main stakeholder. There is 2 main stakeholders in the Bee Movie. First is Barry B. Benson, and second, Vanessa Bloom. Barry B. Benson is the bee who tried to sue humans after finding out that humans are selling and consuming honey, even though the bees are working really hard to make honey. Barry is furious after knowing that there are some bees living in human-made hive to cater the human needs of honey. At the end, Barry wins the trial after proving that humans use smoking gun to bees, and this is harming the bees. Barry the bee also acknowledged his mistake of taking honey from human production and making all bees stop working. As a result, all the flower dies because there is no pollination from the bees. He corrects his mistake by bringing the last flower to his area where he knows all bees in his area, and asks them to pollinate the flower all over the park. The next stakeholder is Vanessa Bloom. Vanessa Bloom is a florist who is kind to every living thing, including Barry the Beast, who is in trouble as a first-timer flyer outside the hive. He then gently brings berries outside the windows without hurting him. Not like her fiancé, who tried to hurt Barry with his Timberland shoes. Barry is mesmerized by Vanessa's action and tried to thank her, even though one of the bee rules is not to talk to humans. Vanessa also helps Barry to save flowers by flying the aeroplane and bring the flowers to the area where he knows other bees so that they can pollinate all flowers in the park. The ethical dilemma that we can get from this movie is first from Barry, whether Barry should break the bee law where the bees cannot speak to humans. The second one is Vanessa. Whether Vanessa should help Barry to win the trial, even it affect her human race. And the last one is Mr. Montgomery, whether the Mr. Montgomery should provoke the bee team to win the judge favor.
Hi, my name is Nurul Atika binti Zakaria. My student ID is 2019406682. I will be presenting or discuss the action that taken by the villain from a consequentialist point of view. First, we will go through the definition of a consequentialist. Consequentialist can be defined as a consequence of one's conduct that are the ultimate basis for any judgment about the rightness of that conduct or action that will produce a good outcome or any consequence. Human is the villain in this movie. This is because every time or most time they see the bees, they will tend to kill them. They will tend to kill the bees. They see bees as a vicious insect. This action will only have a consequence because humans only think about themselves or perhaps about their safety. But if the bees are constantly being killed by the human, it will adversely affect the pollination process. This is because bee will do the pollination process. They will pick the pollen from the flower or mostly the flower and sprinkle it everywhere. Next is a discuss of the action taken by the hero from a deontology point of view. Deontology can be defined as a judge's the morality of an action based on the action's adherence to a rule or rules. Sometimes it can be described as a duty or obligation or rules based on the ethics because rules bind you to your duty. Barry, as a hero, in this movie has fight the justice of the uses of honey by the human, and he won the cases. But the impact from that, there is no more cycle of nature, such as growing of flowers, vegetable, plants, and fruits. This is because the bee did not perform their duty to pollen the plants due to the overflow of honey. And Barry tried to rectify this situation, and he followed Vanessa to a final tournament of roses parade and bring home a flowers to pick up the pollen. This is the only way to help the bee to perform their duty. They will pick up the pollen and sprinkle it to everywhere, means more pollen, more flowers, more nectar, and more honey.
If we are in villain's shoes, who is Mr. Layton T. Montgomery, we should do our duty as a lawyer ethically by just defending the client without having to denounce the bees. It shows when in court, the lawyer said the parent of Barry B. Benson isn't his real parent. If we were him, we should feel guilty and shame with the actions since the act is unethical for the lawyer.
The conclusion of the Bee Movie is, without bees, the world will eventually end. Without plants, animals won't be able to eat. Without plants or animals, we won't be able to eat. So after watching this movie, I agree with the Bee Movie's message that bees are important and we need to start paying attention and work on saving them. The bees help an entire generation learn about how vital bees are to the ecosystem, and that without them we will be in a serious trouble. When Barry B. Benson found out that humans eat honey, he was shocked, saying, "This is our whole life and you're taking it without permission. This is stealing. You are taking our homes, our schools, or our hospitals. It's all we have, and it's on sale. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna get to the bottom of all of it." Many people have been similarly surprised at how vital bees are. Barry B. Benson had an impressive character arc throughout the film, leading to the point that he not only tolerates but encourages people to eat honey. One of the best ways to help bees is to eat local, raw, chemical-free honey. The Bee Movie is an inspiring movie educating people about the vital roles that bees play in the ecosystem. Just like they have helped us, it's time for us to start helping them.